அன்பார்ந்த பெரியோர்களே, தாய்மார்களே, ரெஸ்பெக்டட் லேடிஸ் அண்ட் ஜென்டில்மென், இந்த அற்புதமான சென்னை இலக்கிய விழா 2வது ஆண்டுக்கு வந்திருக்கக்கூடிய நம்முடைய விருந்தினர்களை மனமாற இங்கே வாழ்த்தி வணங்கி மகிழ்கின்றேன். மேடையில் அமர்ந்திருக்கக்கூடிய 2 முக்கியமான மனிதர்கள் இதற்கு முழு காரணம். இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி இதே போல் நடத்தி ஒரு வித்தியாசமான ஒரு விஷயத்தை மக்களுக்கு சொல்ல வேண்டும் என்கின்ற ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு முயற்சியினால் இந்த சென்னை இலக்கிய விழா 2வது ஆண்டு இன்று சாத்தியமாக இருக்கிறது. ஸோ எனக்கு தெரியல, கொஞ்சம் ஆங்கிலமும் தமிழும் கலந்து பேசுகின்றேன். ஏன்னா ஆனந்த் ரங்கநாதன்ஜி நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ தமிழில் முழுமையாக பேசும் பொழுது அவர்களுக்கு புரியுமா என்று தெரியாத காரணத்தினால் மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி பேசுகிறேன். ஸோ Bharat Gopaji, who is the founder of this and who was very instrumental in bringing this also, who convinced a lot of people, met them, brought them to Chennai, some very busy important people from different parts of India. So first I should compliment him for doing this. Then for Shyamji also for acting as a very able deputy and working as a team to get this done. So normally when we see the literature fest, especially in Tamil Nadu, we just finished one Chennai Lit Festival which happened for a long time, which we also had the privilege of going there, attending and seeing all the books, seeing all the talks and whatever was on display. Tamil Nadu for a long time, for many years, right after 1970, it has got this thing that literature or a point of view has to be oriented in a unidirection. It has to be oriented in a particular direction. தமிழ்நாடை பொறுத்தவரை பல்லாண்டு காலமாக கிட்டத்தட்ட 1970க்கு பின்பு ஒரு இலக்கிய விழா, இதை போன்ற விழாலாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு பக்கமாக ஒரு வழி பாதையாக ஒரு வழி சாலையாக அது இருக்கும். சில கருத்துக்கள் மட்டும்தான் பிரதானமாக முன்வைக்கப்படும். அந்த கருத்துக்களை வைத்துத்தான் இலக்கிய விழாவிலே மக்கள் பேசுவார்கள். அவர்களாகவே அவர்களுக்கு பரிசும் கூட கொடுத்து கொண்டு மார்த்தட்டி கொள்வார்கள். இதை போன்ற விழாவை தமிழகத்திலே தொடர்ந்து பார்த்து கொண்டிருக்கின்றோம். ஆனால் இந்த விழா முற்றிலும் மாறுபட்டிருக்கிறது. முற்றிலும் மாறுபட்டு அற்புதமான சிந்தனையாளர்களை இங்கே கூட்டிக் கொண்டு வந்து ஒரே மேடையிலே பேசுவதற்கு ஒரு வாய்ப்பு அளித்திருக்கிறது. இப்போ நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா some very eminent, wonderful minds have come here to speak today. Especially our Anand Ranganathan ji is here. I was very surprised because I used to read his article. A lot of articles he writes in Swaraj, a lot of articles he writes otherwise also. I keep reading it. A science product who went for his masters to UK, came back, ran a molecular biotechnology lab for about 16 years. Or thoroughbred scientist, if at all you can call somebody as a thoroughbred scientist, Anand Ranganathan ji is a thoroughbred scientist. But the transformation that he has undertaken from a scientist to a phenomenal chronicler of Indian thoughts, Indian history, the transformation is phenomenal. Just like a caterpillar, one fine day the caterpillar decides, I am not going to eat anything, I am going to hang myself up and upside down. The caterpillar decides to hang itself upside down, doesn't eat anything. By the miracle of nature, it shrinks, it undergoes a dramatic transformation, it becomes a moth, it becomes a butterfly. Because the caterpillar has chosen to take the path the nature has decided for it. Likewise, Anand Ranganathan ji and other people also, their life has started in some other way. But after seeing the chronicle of Indian history, especially the JNU model of Indian history that is getting chronicled for a long time, be it an education policy, be it the other policy that India has seen for the last 50-60 odd years, they have decided to come to this road that is less traveled. So I have to compliment Anand Ranganathan ji to coming here, not only coming here, but also staying here fully for today and tomorrow and giving his very valuable inputs to others. இன்னொரு மனிதர் எனக்கு பெரிய பிரமிப்பு கொடுக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு மனிதர் வந்து நம்முடைய ரதன் சாரதாஜி, who is also here as a speaker. So I think he is upstairs in the 3rd floor doing a program, will come down. So he just released a book yesterday in Delhi, The Conflict Resolution RSS Way. Normally when we talk about RSS, Rashtriya Swayam Sangh organization, from the outside, many people might not have a full idea of what the exact work RSS is doing. But in this conflict resolution book that he has presented yesterday, which got released yesterday, very beautifully he takes the readers through the important conflict areas of India post-independence. The important conflict areas, without a doubt you can say, it is Jammu and Kashmir, eternal conflict for a long time, till we have resolved it from 2019. Then you have the Punjab problem. For a long time Punjab was an eternal conflict. You have the northeastern states, which are a cultural conflict, which are a different part of conflict internally also. And what is left unwritten or unsung story, RSS quietly, with a lot of fortitude, it has silently worked in all these frontiers. All of these are border states, very important to preserve Bharat, very important to preserve India what it is. And this book is an excellent chronicle of conflict resolution the RSS way, though he has written many other books also. But this book has captured my attention. So this is an important story that has to be told in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai, as part of the Chennai Literature Festival. So I'm very glad the organizers is bringing in Ratan Sharadaji to talk about how RSS has lost people. Maybe RSS is the only organization that has lost its people in all the theatres of conflict, be it Punjab, be it J&K, be it the northeastern part of India. It has lost its pracharaks, it has lost people who are trying to propagate the Indic values. It has lost them, brutally killed, brutally massacred. Right in Golden Temple, every single place we have lost people. And this book is an important chronicle which is trying to bring everything together. And Maniji, our very eternal person, very, very senior person in the Home Ministry, retired, and he is going to tell a very important story, the India's security in a proper perspective. And normally, when we look at the history that is written about the India's security, maybe starting from 1947 Kashmir till now, அதெல்லாம் பார்க்கும் பொழுது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா many things are one-sided history. யுனைடெட் நேஷன்ஸ்லேருந்து எதற்கு அந்த முடிவு எடுத்தோம், எதற்காக சீஸ் ஃபயரை ஒத்துக்கிட்டோம், எதற்காக பாகிஸ்தான் உள்ளே நம்முடைய இடத்தை ஆக்கிரமித்தும் கூட அதே லைன் ஆஃப் கண்ட்ரோல் அதை ஏற்றுக்கிட்டோம். அதுக்கு ரெண்டு நாட்டுக்கும் கூட மிலிட்ரி கமிஷனை போட்டு இன்னுமே மிலிட்ரி கமிஷன் இந்தியா பாகிஸ்தான் லைன் ஆஃப் ஆக்சுவல் கண்ட்ரோலில் இருக்குது. இதெல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மக்களுக்கு புரியாத ஒரு புதிர்கள். We see this at one end. So over a point of time, we have taken so much pride in buying arms, in buying ammunition, buying every single thing for our internal security from foreign nations. இது ஒரு level of security. That is one part of story that was told to us. The 2014 onwards, it is the Atmanirbhar Bharat story. Atmanirbhar Bharat story, this budget also நீங்கள் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. The country has taken a very firm stand that 36% of our military purchases from this year, last year was 26%, this year is a 10% improvement. 36% நம்ம military spendingல என்ன arms and ammunition வாங்குறோமோ that will be manufactured within India, the Atmanirbhar Bharat way. That is one step. The next step, how our country slowly, steadily we are building world-class institutions. We are kind of linking up all the intelligence agencies. We are doing it our way. We are not doing it any other country's way. How after especially our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has come to power, you are not seeing any bomb blast in any part of the India. முதல்ல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா bomb blast happens in Hyderabad, within a week it happens in some other important city, Mumbai, then it happens in Bangalore, then it happens in Lumbini Park. So Deepavali Pongal nave namakke bhayam, we tell our house people not to come out because we never know when the next blast will happen, which part of India. Why this sudden miraculous transformation in about 8 years? The same security agency, the same personnel working in the same border guarding forces or in the internal security. What is this dramatic transformation that has made India a safer country? If I can say with little bit of pride, probably after independence, the safest part of India, the safest time of India is in the Narendra Modi era, right from 2014 till then it is continuing. Slowly, steadily we have resolved conflict in the northeastern theatre. Manipur we have resolved in Nagaland. We have made many groups to put their arms down. We have declared ceasefire. Slowly and steadily they are getting integrated into the democratic process. Every single place you will see, I think Mani sir will talk about very important perspective of that, which people need to hear, the alternate version, the true version, that is very important for the youngsters. இப்போ இருக்கக்கூடிய இளைஞர்களுக்கு அதை கேட்க வேண்டிய கட்டாயத்தில் அவர்கள் இருக்கின்றார்கள். ஒரு ஆத்மநிர்பார பாரத்தில் எப்படி டிஃபென்ஸ்லேருந்து ஒரு விஷயமாக கூட நாம் மாறிக்கொண்டிருக்கின்றோம் என்று. மை பர்சனல் ஃபேவரட், ஐ கீப், எனக்கு எப்போவுமே அவர் பேசுகிறது பிடிக்கும். ஐ கீப் லிசனிங் டு ஹிம், from my own party, my colleague, former MP Karvendran ji, who is sitting here. And what can I say? He is on a very fire mode. Karvendran ji is in the first row with a dhoti, white shirt. So he was our former MP from the Congress party. He was an MP 2 times from the Palani region. Then he has come to BJP now, and he is an important chronicler of Tamil Nadu's history from the BJP party. Every Monday you will see in Podigai channel, 7:30 to 8. Vociferously is talking about freedom fighters from Tamil Nadu who had contributed to India's freedom fighting story. I think you have finished how many sessions, sir? He has finished 26 sessions now, 26 sessions in DD Podigai. Every Monday you will see him from 7:30 to 8. He will be talking about an important historical figure, maybe 200-year story, maybe 150-year-old story. He is trying to chronicle everything. Maybe 5 years from now, when we look back at what Karvendran is doing for Tamil history, I think it will be phenomenal. He has just started, is going full guns blazing. So I'm very happy the organizers have got hold of Karvendran to come here and to speak. And for other writers who are here, every writer is an important writer. They're trying to tell an important story. And what I felt most interesting from the invitation is they are telling micro stories. Because India, after the Congress era, was focusing on the macro story. And this macro story is all about one family, all about one school of thought, all about focusing on 2-3 individuals. That is a macro story. Country is never made up on macro story. The country is made up of micro stories. You might not even know some people's life, some people's fate, who have shaped up this country's destiny over the last 300-400 years. And Tamil Nadu itself is a land of this micro story. And we have our own Nadu editor who is here, who is sitting in the front row, and he is the biggest chronicler of micro stories in Tamil Nadu. It's a magazine that is affiliated to our thought that brings out the Indic way, and the editor-in-chief who is sitting in and who have the privilege of working very closely with as part of the BJP party. And they document the micro stories. You might not even be hearing the names that I'll be speaking to you now. When we talk about Veeramangai Velunachiyar in Tamil Nadu, in Sivagangai Seemai, Veeramangai Velunachiyar's life preceded 70 years before Jhansi Rani ji. Jhansi Rani avங்களுடைய லைஃபுக்கு 70 ஆண்டுகள் முன்பாக Veeramangai Velunachiyar ji was living. So when you go and see the history, going to Sivagangai, going to her area, going to her fort, which is still preserved, and when she is the only woman in India's history, the only Rani in India's history who was taken on the British, defeated them, after that ruled for 17 years. The only woman ever to do so. But unfortunately, the history is not documented properly. Just now in the Amritka, in the very important Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, started by our government, especially by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, we are documenting all these micro stories. This micro stories is very important for anybody to understand how these people have selflessly got the idea of India going. So what has it got to do with VOC or VO Chidambaram Pillai from Thoothukudi? He is a very rich lawyer, highly educated scholar, 150 years back, a person who has made so much money. One fine day he has decided to take on the might of the British India. He has decided to take the British India not by taking a lathi and fighting with them. He said, if India needs to get independence, if India needs to take on these British guys, India needs to take them on economically. That is why he started the company called the Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company. He took on the might of the British's navigation, and the first ship started sailing from Thoothukudi to Colombo, and he was competing with the Britishers who was having their ships all subsidized. When VOC started his ship company, when he was running the ship, just to kill his body and his spirit and soul, the British India was running its steam navigation company at half the rates of how VOC was running his company. Then VOC was going strong. Then they started running the rates of the British ship at 20% of VOC rate. When you are running this company at 20% half the rate, you killed this guy, you killed this company, you killed all his wealth, whatever he has accumulated by his hard-earned means as a lawyer. Then the next step was equally cruel. He was arrested, taken to Coimbatore prison, was made to do that oil grinding. The sample is still displayed in VOC's memorial in Thoothukudi. If you go there, you can see that sample. You just have to move that thing and see. ஒரு மனிதன் எப்படி தன்னுடைய முழு உயிரை கொடுத்து, உணர்வை கொடுத்து, சூழ்ச்சியால் தோற்கடிக்கப்பட்டு, சொத்துக்களை எல்லாம் இழந்து, அதன் பின்பு கைது செய்யப்பட்டு, எண்ணெய் ஆட்டுகின்ற செக்க, அதாவது 3 மாடு, 3 oxen has to pull that. Imagine a 3 oxen struggling and pulling. You make a human being to do it, like what happened in the Andaman Cellular Jail. But this history is poorly documented, poorly chronicled. If you go to VOC's life in totality, what we are more interested is the suffering that he undertook voluntarily for about 15-20 years, just because he refused to toe the British line. So why was VOC doing it in Thoothukudi? He was not fighting for the freedom of Tamil Nadu. He was not fighting for the freedom of Thoothukudi. He was fighting for the freedom of the whole India. That is what the current people in Tamil Nadu, the current political functionaries here fail to understand. All of the micro stories that we talk one after the other are people born in Tamil Nadu at different parts of time. They had the concept of Bharat in their mind. 250 years back, if I go back to the part in which I was born, the Kongu region, if I take you to Erode, the Dhiran Chinnamalai's area, what was he doing? His forces was sent to Mysore and they combined with Tipu Sultan to take on British. Later when he had trouble, their forces came here to take on. Then later they fought with each other, it's a different story. The peculiar nature of history, the way it shapes up. So all of these people never cared about borders. All they had this thought was the British have to be kicked away. We got to reclaim our old age-old heritage, age-old civilization. Not only that, when they talk about social justice, Tamil Nadu is the land of social justice, that too after 1967 when DMK has come to power. When you go back little bit in history, when you look at the micro stories, Dhiran Chinnamalai avaru mattum British eduthu poraadlinga. Avaru kuda, there was an Arundadiyar community. Arundadiyar, you know, from Tamil Nadu, they come from, they are called the poorest of the poor among the SC community. From the Arundadiyar community, we had Pollan. Pollan was fighting with Dhiran Chinnamalai, a Gounder and an Arundadiyar, as a brother, arm in arm, in the Kongu region. The true example of social justice, taking on the British together. They both got arrested, taken to Sangagiri fort, both got hanged together. Again, it's a classic story. But all these are not documented properly, all these are not told in history. That is why I'm very, very happy and very glad. The Chennai Ilakkiya Villa, 2வது ஆண்டு, the Indo-Analytica, they made an effort to bring all of these authors who tell a very important part of India's history. India's history is changing, or it has to be changed, which they are doing it. When we look at a person like Vikram Sambat, whom we had the privilege of releasing as Savarkarji's second volume of book in Chennai a couple of months back, they are very, very important people telling very, very important story. And to truly understand Savarkar, not only you read his book, what Vikram Sambatji and others have written, not only when you go to Cellular Jail and go to the third floor, the corner room, where Savarkarji spent many years there in solitude, not only when you see that, it's important you see the whole documents in perspective, which the new age historians are trying to do. And whatever Sanjeev Sanyal ji is trying to do, Sanjeev Sanyal அவர்களை போன்ற மிகப்பெரிய எழுத்தாளர்கள் ஒரு புதிய பரிமாணத்தை நமக்கு காட்டுகின்றார்கள். சஞ்சீவ் சன்யாலுடைய புத்தகங்கள் அனைத்தும் கூட The Land of Seven Seasல ஆரம்பித்து எல்லா புத்தகத்தையும் படிக்கும் பொழுது very, very different perspective of India, the true India, the original India, the India that we all should read, people are writing. That is why the conflict has started now. The last, especially many months of conflict, if you see the online, the social media, everywhere, it is because this new breed is coming up. This new breed is not only scholarly, they are intellectual, not only intellectual, they know how to present the facts with the right degree of perspective. Not only that, very important, they are brave. This new breed of writers who have come into the mainstream now, writing out wonderful books after books after books, articles after articles after articles, they are taking on the JNU ecosystem head on now. 30-40 years undisturbed, an ecosystem has thrived, especially in Tamil Nadu, especially in other parts of India. Now coming to Tamil Nadu, especially the DMK government takes pride in the fact, the Dravidian development model, the Dravidian economic model. They take so much pride in these words, they keep using that. I don't want to get into the word called Dravidian, I'm getting into the word called the DMK development model, the DMK economic model, which they start doing it from 1967. Now, if you look at our state, the state of Tamil Nadu, I really want somebody to go dig deep into it, maybe write a book, maybe present in the 3rd literature festival. How Tamil Nadu, as a state, when we see, as a district, we see all the 39 districts. There are some districts in Tamil Nadu that is comparably worse to some of the worst districts of India. If you take Virudhunagar, if you take Theni, if you take Ramanathapuram, if you take those districts, how the so-called their development model hasn't percolated down to the needy. How this model over a point of time has amplified the caste divisions of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is one of the states with the highest amount of caste polarization. ஜாதிகளை வைத்து அரசியல் செய்து ஜாதிகளுக்கு இடையிலே சண்டையை ஏற்படுத்தி அதன் மூலமாக பல உயிர்களை பறித்துவிட்டு ஒரு வருடமும் கூட ஜாதி அரசியலை வைத்து ஜாதி மோதல்களை ஏற்படுத்திவிட்டு அதை டிஎம்கே டெவலப்மெண்டல் மாடல் என்று கூறுகின்றார்கள். எப்படி ஏற்றுக்கொள்ள முடியும்? அதே போல பொருளாதாரமும் கூட முறையாக அனைத்து மாவட்டங்களையும் கூட வளர்க்காமல் சில மாவட்டங்கள் மட்டும் தமிழகத்திலே வளர்ந்து அதிகமான வேலை வாய்ப்பையும் அதிகமான பொருளாதாரத்தையும் அந்தந்த மாவட்டங்கள் உருவாக்கி கொண்டிருக்கிறது. உதாரணத்துக்கு கொங்கு ரீஜனை பார்த்துக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா the Coimbatore, Erode, Tirupur, right up to Salem, it contributes 42% of Tamil Nadu's revenue. So it's a skewed developmental model where the government never had an idea over the last 60, 70 years to do a holistic development for Tamil Nadu, to keep people in harmony, to get out of this caste compulsion, to get out of this caste division. They think that simply by doing a Brahmin bashing, they can hide all these things and develop a model which is a very regressive model and call this as the DMK developmental model. Just yesterday in Chennai's protest, we have done a threadbare analysis of the whole budget and we have said how the budget is so regressive for the model you are calling, which I call that as Votapanai. In Tamil, you call that as Votapanai, which I said yesterday. The DMK's developmental model is nothing but a Votapanai. We just hope and pray some serious scholar, some serious research-minded guy will get into all the finances, will get into what we are doing and show a mirror to the Tamil Nadu people and tell them this needs to change. The current political model needs to change. If Tamil Nadu has to go up, in Tamil Nadu 100 years back, how it was a harmonious society, how it was a model society with no caste division, many things were created on their own. I think this is a book which I am hoping and praying somebody would have the courage to get into it, take the data, go very deep into it, and present this book maybe in the next year Literature Festival, the third year. I know this stage is not for me. This stage is for people like Anand Ranganathanji, Radhan Sazaji, Maniji, Karvendanji, and all other eminent writers who are sitting here. It is not my stage. We are here to listen to them, their point of view, their writings, their ideas, their thought process. So once again, I thank all the people who have come here for this wonderful function. I know with a lot of effort you have pulled it off. The first 2 years, 3 years is always going to be hard. It's a matter of time. I'm sure next year when the same thing happens, you will see people calling you in the middle of the night asking for tickets. It just happens like that. We all will have initial trouble because you're trying to bring a new idea, you're trying to bring an alternative perspective to Chennai. Tamil people are fantastic. They really like this kind of things. They really like these alternate stories to be heard, the true stories to be heard, the micro stories of Tamil land to be heard to the wider India and to the wider world. And as a Tamilian, I have a lot of pride in saying this. If Narendra Modi ji, our Honorable Prime Minister, very proudly says that India is going to be the Vishwa Guru of the world, which we all agree, India will be the Vishwa Guru of the world very soon. But as a Tamilian, I take equal pride in saying Tamil Nadu will be the Vishwa Guru of India. A land that has got so much to contribute over the last many thousand years. We can rightly say, when Tamil Nadu becomes the Vishwa Guru of India, India will become Vishwa Guru of the world. And for that, this literature festival is a small drop in the mighty ocean. All these small drops, end of the day, without even we knowing us, will get accumulated. It will be like a torrent of rainfall or a torrent of water. அதனால் இந்த வாய்ப்பு கொடுத்த இங்கே இருக்கக்கூடிய ஷாம்ஜி அவர்களுக்கும் பரத் கோபஜி அவர்களுக்கும் நன்றியை தெரிவித்து, இந்த அற்புதமான அரங்கத்தை கொடுத்த நம்முடைய செக்ரட்டரி அண்ணன் அவர்களுக்கு நன்றியை தெரிவித்து, இங்கே வந்திருக்கக்கூடிய அனைத்து நண்பர்கள், people who come from the far part of India, my deepest congratulations and respects to you. Let this be a beginning. Let us do more like this. Let us keep bringing the great authors, the young authors, people with different perspectives of Tamil Nadu, perspectives of history, people who can tell micro stories of Tamil Nadu, people who can give the true perspective of Tamil development model. So let there be a Tamil development model only, maybe 3-4 years from now, when we start debating, discussing, when we start puncturing holes, when we show mirror to the reality, I think people will start rightfully claiming that as a Tamil development model. It's a matter of time. Let the original Tamil development model be coming to this land. We don't want any other development model to this land. So it's a matter of time before it will come. So I take a real privilege, sir, in coming here and talking. At the same time, my sincere apologies to Anandji and others who are here. Today we have taken one more step as a party, where we have called all our elected representatives for a 2-day workshop. Tamil Nadu has got BJP elected representatives, Panchayat leaders, councillors, corporators. So first of a time, we have done a 2-day workshop which starts at 9 o'clock today till tomorrow night. So we have brought people from outside to address them, to talk about this perspective, this developmental model, so that slowly and steadily in their own places of influence, they will start doing it. We have Sridhar Vembuji who's addressing on ethics. We have some of the very finest Panchayat leaders over the last 25 years have done dramatic transformation of their Panchayat. There is a Panchayat in near Mettupalayam, Coimbatore, called Odandurai. Odandurai Panchayat is one of the model Panchayats of India, where the Panchayat itself is self-sustaining. The Panchayat doesn't take electricity from outside. The electricity is generated inside. zero waste discharge, everything. It's a model. So that Panchayat leader is coming and addressing. Then we have Koothapakam Ilangovan, who studied from Anna University, a BA in 1996. He left everything. Coming from a scheduled caste community, he contested as the Panchayat election. He became the president of Koothapakam village in Chengalpattu. Again, did a dramatic transformation of his village. His Panchayat is rated by United Nations as one of the model Panchayats of India. But unfortunately, all of the stories are not told outside. So as a party, we are bringing all of these leaders to come to a platform and talk to our people, be it a Koothapakam Ilangovan. So today it is happening in Perambalur. I have to rush from here to Perambalur to participate in that function also. So I request all the eminent speakers to kindly excuse me, and I will be watching your program live in the online media that is being telecasted live. So with this, I take excellent privilege in coming here, and thank you so much for you to inviting me, sir. Thank you. Jai Hind. Valarattum Tamilagam, Thalai Nimirந்து Nikattum Bharadam. Thank you so much.